Okay, now we're on live, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mike Kennedy Copeland's first ever live Google Hangout series called Mike's MVP Lounge, a tribute to MVP's VIP Lounge. However, this is different. This is a one-on-one Google Hangouts where we cover many different topics: wrestling, football, soccer, politics, whatever. And now for my first Hangout series. Here's my first guest, Rensis.
How are you?
I'm fine, man. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Got some noise going on in the background here, having some tile put in, but pretty good, pretty good.
I'm finally glad I finally got this shit sorted out. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you see another copy of this video, that's my failed attempt to start this Hangout. That didn't go very well because I've never done this before. And this is my first time, so yeah,
I think it'll work out all right.
hope so. Anyway, so let's start off. Rensis, what are your thoughts about Alexander Rusev and this Russian gimmick they've put on him?
Uh, it's a pretty standard sort of monster heel build, and reminds you of some of the old style wrestling gimmicks where they take a foreigner and try to make that person a heel, really primarily on the strength of them being different, being the other, being from another country, and saying that wherever they're from is better than the local territory. So I mean, it's a throwback character. It's a pretty well-worn, proven way to try to get a heel over, and I think so far it's working. I'm enjoying his work. He's a little bit different than a lot of the other guys that are on the roster, in that he has a curious build. He doesn't wear shoes. He's got a little bit of a martial arts background. I don't know if it's Muay Thai or whatever it is that
I
his
think it's
background
Muay
is.
Thai you're talking about there, Rensis.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. I like him, and I think they've done a good job of walking the line of protecting him versus um, not making him appear to be completely unstoppable. So I like what they've done so far with him, and I think there's a pretty good ceiling for him as a way upper mid card, nearly main event heel. So not bad.
I've almost seemingly forgotten that before this Russian gimmick that was slapped on him, and I'll explain why in a bit. But I've kind of almost forgotten that he used to be called the Bulgarian Brute.
Yeah, he's they build him as Bulgarian, and I think that's actually accurate. But um, I'm not sure that most of the WWE audience even knows where that is. So it's kind of hard to build him into a heel with that. So you know, make him Russian. They didn't make him Russian, but he's sort of a Russian sympathizer. And I wonder if they're ever going to sort of do the same thing with Lana. She's a fake Russian too. So
That's like my biggest number one issue with this gimmick. That the fact that Rusev is not even from Russia. I mean, sure, I'm not trying to sound like a xenophobe, like oh, he's not, you know. I just believe it would have worked a hell of a lot better than it's working right now. Um, if he was like actually from Russia, like, do you see where I'm coming from here?
uh, uh I mean, that's your big problem with it. I'm talking about pro wrestling here. So, um, hey,
No,
I
I
don't
mean,
think that's the big problem with it.
I'm not saying like it's a fact or more or less like like I don't really understand what I don't like the thing I don't get is why are they not gonna why are they gonna god damn it, why have exactly put a Russian gimmick on somebody who's not even from Russia? Like, he's from Bulgaria, yet they're giving a Russian gimmick on him. Like, I don't really understand what purpose there was like behind it. I don't even get why it's happening.
Because like I was saying before, I don't know that the people that buy into the WWE product, I'm not sure that they'd really be able to generate heat on a Bulgarian um, athlete. I just think the heat factor is much better making him be a Russian sympathizer, and they haven't hidden that he's Bulgarian. Like you said, they call him the Bulgarian brute. Um, but they're making him a Russian sympathizer to try to get heat. I mean, that's really the bottom line of it.
They could have just made but like keep the Bulgarian gimmick on him, but like go anti-American. That would get heat.
Mm,
Like be
I guess.
anti-American but Bulgarian.
I guess. Um, I think you could possibly kind of laugh him off if you did that.
Hmm. Then why is it that the what's his face? Muhammad Hassan got so much hate. Why is that?
Good question. Good question. I don't have an answer on that one. But some guys can get heat, in various ways. This is just the particular way that they chose for him, and I think for the most part it has worked to this point.
I'm not saying it's not working. I'm just saying I enjoy it, but at the same time I don't really understand why it's happening because he's not Russian, he's Bulgarian, and it doesn't make much sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy it. I like what they've done with him. I mean, hell, they've had the bloody Russian anthem play, and you're doing a good job when you do that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I'm kind of big on foreign heel gimmicks. That's just my thing.
yeah, they kind of did they kind of did something similar with Cesaro to just make him an annoying foreigner. And that didn't, he didn't get a lot of reaction doing that.
No, that didn't work out much.
So, you know, maybe if they had done this gimmick with him, perhaps that would have gotten him over. But I mean, they've still arrived at the place that they wanted to be. He's over at this point. I think it's just a statement of there's different ways to get guys over. There's different gimmicks you can use, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to recycle something that's worked before, and that's kind of what they're doing here. I mean, is it great? No, probably not great, but I think it's working.
And apparently, people are complaining that like oh, anti-American gimmicks that's been so done before. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, it's pro wrestling. Everything's been done before, so
Yeah, but I don't really hear people complaining about any other things except John Cena being John Cena. Haha.
yeah.
I don't know. I just get the vibe that most people just like to complain about the anti-American things being done again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really don't understand it. I mean, I'm like, what's the big problem with foreign heels? I mean, I don't hear you complaining about anything else except, John Cena, which I agree he sucks, and Daniel Bryan not getting thing, and other mid-card talent.
So it sounds like we pretty much complain about everything. so, so I, that's kind of the way wrestling fans are. Not all of them, of course, but there's a vocal minority of fans who are going to complain. That's probably a completely different subject for a different day. But um, if for those of us that consume a lot of the product, it's not surprising that we would um, complain after a while, because it's sort of like if you have a favorite restaurant that you go to and you go every day for a year, you're getting sick of it. So it goes from your favorite to something that you're sick of, you never want to see again. And I think that's kind of the way that we are with wrestling. For the casual fan that tunes in, you know, for a couple of Raws a month, and they'll buy WrestleMania once a year, and they might get a poster or a T-shirt here or there. That fan is probably just fine with the current product. In fact, you kind of see the popularity, I think, rising in general. But for those of us that watch it all the time and we're a little bit more analytical, that invites a bit more criticism. It invites a higher level of scrutiny, just because we consume so much more of the product. If you're watching Raw and SmackDown and Main Event and Superstars and NXT and Total Divas and everything else that they produce, you know, it's a really high standard to ask WWE to make a product that is memorable for the casual fan and also consistently fresh for the hardcore fan. That's asking a bit much. It's just impossible to do both. And there's a lot more money in making sure that the casual fan is happy, because it's a much larger audience. So that's kind of where we are with it.
So is that why I hear so many people complaining about the anti-American thing being done over again?
Yes.
Okay. Well, like I've said a few minutes ago, I don't know, anti-American foreign heel gimmicks just kind of interest me, kind of like my thing,
What kind of anti-American stuff have you favored in the past?
what, wrestling related or anti-American in general?
Either one.
Either one. Well, I first got exposed to anti-Americanism when I listened to Psy's song called Dear America, which was composed back in 2004. Where, do you know that? You know that song?
I don't.
Well, I'm not going to go into detail, and you probably wouldn't like it because it is kind of bloody anti-American.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
I'm surprised because it was quite popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when I first got exposed to like anti-Americanism in general, and then I've just kind of become more interested in finding and learning about the context of anti-Americanism as time progressed, and I still am to this day.
Yeah, that can get quite sociological there, anthropological. I think it would probably be more entertaining to to just stick with the product than to get into a philosophical conversation about it. But I mean, it's not that it's a bad thing to do it. We could talk about those issues too, but I'd say the typical wrestling fan is just interested in who's winning and losing, who's got a good move set,
Yeah,
who's got the best entrance theme, who's turning heel, that type of basic stuff.
yeah, don't worry, we're gonna cover plenty of that too. Oh yeah, as for wrestling, Rensis, who do you believe is the best heel right now? Like, at this very minute, who do you think is the greatest heel right now? Who does the best job as a heel? You can be a
Uh,
superstar or diva.
Stephanie McMahon.
Stephanie, how come?
She gets the most reaction of anybody that I can tell in any company. I mean, everywhere she goes, she's pretty much booed. It's not like they've booked Bray Wyatt as a heel, but he's so good that a large subset, especially of us marks, that will cheer him, no matter how much heelish stuff he does. Um, he's my favorite performer right now. But if you're talking about just the ability to get people to be irritated with you and want to see you get yours, which is the typical definition of a heel, the villain is Stephanie McMahon, and I don't know that anybody's really all that close.
I would say pretty close as Rusev with the Rusophonia thingy.
Yeah, I think as much as the heat is on him, it's probably equally as much on Lana, because she's doing the talking. He's kind of just standing there beating people up, you know.
Fun fact, Lana is actually American in real life.
Yes, she is.
CJ Perry, that's her real name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, you knew that. Ha!
Yes, I did.
I'm not gonna rub it in your face about it, so do not worry, Rancers. So, no, do you want to carry on talking about foreign heels, or do you want to move to a different topic?
Up to you. You're the host.
Oh yeah, it's all on me. Well, the, I on about the foreign heel thing, I would really like, and I'm being 100% honest here. I would extremely like it, and I'm okay. Forewarning, Rensis, this might offend you, but I really hope I don't stir up too much shit. But I think it would be really, really cool, and it would draw a lot of heat if Summer Rae came with a Nazi American biker kind of gimmick. Sorry, Francis.
I don't think they, there's certain lines that they won't cross, because it's not good. It doesn't make good business sense. You'd lose too many customers opening up that kind of a can of worms. It's not that it wouldn't draw a reaction. It's just that the reaction that it's likely to draw is people turning the TV off, or not turning the TV off, but changing the channel, um, canceling subscriptions. It's not. It wouldn't be smart business.
Why?
I just told you why.
Oh, you did. God, think, Mike. Seriously, I hope I didn't offend you there with this crazy idea.
Me, no. There's no reason. I mean, it's just an idea, but yeah, I don't think it would fail to irritate people, but I think that it would irritate people in a way that would make them stop spending money. That's the bottom line of it.
Well, like just being like, oh, this is too much. I'm not looking at this.
Yep, exactly.
Well, I can see where you're coming from. But still, I still would think that I would be legit, awesome, to see on television. Like, it's definitely going to be different.
That was done for so long. I'm not quite that old, but for years and years, you'd see that on cartoons. You'd see it in a lot of pop culture, where they kind of make Nazi jokes or the like, and you get to a point where people don't want to deal with that anymore. And I'm sure that there are art forms where it would possibly make some sense, but I think wrestling is really more meant to be a sort of mainstream, sort of everyday person's entertainment. It's meant to be light. Um, I think there are art forms that are more meant for culture and learning and shock value and things of that nature. But I just don't think that works in today's pro wrestling product. I think it would be a turnoff.
Hmm. No, I'm just hoping and praying I don't offend a whole bunch of people. With that idea.
I wouldn't think so. It's just an idea.
Yeah, but you know what some people like, and they'll be like, "Oh, Mike, you're simply a Nazi supporter because you suggested this idea." Blah 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 blah. You know.
Can't be worried about that.
Nah, can't be. Trying not to be anyway. I've got nothing else to say about foreign heel gimmicks, so I'm gonna move on to a different topic, and the next topic is the Divas division. Alright, so Rensis, what are your thoughts on the Divas division today?
Oh, we just got AJ back. That's interesting. Um, so they take the Divas Championship off of Paige in a sort of very odd circular fashion, mirroring what they did to take the Divas Championship off of AJ. And it felt like it did both of them a disservice. I think both come out weaker and not looking as strong as they could have. The opportunity was there to really build something that was interesting. You've got a returning star who had held the belt for close to a year. She was sort of mirroring the Punk "I held the belt a long time" sort of a gimmick. And Paige is rolling. She's pretty much destroying any diva in her path. And they could have used AJ's return to build to a pay-per-view Paige versus AJ match. And I've discussed this other places, and the reaction that I sometimes get is, well, they can still do that, but the problem is they've lost the ability to have them both look strong in doing it. You had a situation where if AJ comes back, she challenges Paige. Paige says, "You've been gone. I've been here dominating. You need to earn your way." And they could kind of go on parallel paths where they're destroying other divas, and they're on a collision course with each other. And they do this sort of standard get in each other's face and argue back and forth and cut promos. You had the opportunity to build to as close to a money match as you're going to get with the divas today, and they squandered it. You got an unannounced Divas Championship match that was like 2 minutes long. It devalues the Divas Championship. It devalues AJ's return, and it devalues what you're building with Paige. I see there was no positive in the way that they did it. And I look at the other divas in the division, and there's not a lot of money there. There's not a lot of money personalities. I was talking to one of my Twitter followers, and she was very, very concerned that you don't have Trish and Lita and Mickie James and all these other people who could put on excellent matches and could cut a promo, and you could actually make money off the divas. And I agree with that to a certain extent, But I think when you see them do what they did with AJ and Paige this past week, as an example of partially why you don't see that, and it's because they're wasting opportunities to create interesting scenarios. They're wasting opportunities to create interesting stories with them. Um, so part of it is the performers aren't necessarily as good as they used to be, but the writing for them, the creative for them, leaves a lot to be desired too. So on the whole, I think we got some good athletes in the division. Not a ton, but some. Um, it's not where it needs to be yet. They're still building. I do like some of the younger, newer divas. I like Paige. I like Summer. I like. We haven't seen Bailey at the on the main roster yet, but she'll be on the main roster at sometime pretty soon, I'm sure. Charlotte is developing well. Emma is a pretty good performer, so I think the future is bright. Current is not great. Um, so that's a long rambling answer to say it's a solid B plus player, that Divas division.
I think it's even lower than a B plus for me at the minute. Anyway,
Yeah.
at least on the main roster. And I know my followers and subscribers have heard me rant about the Divas division before, saying, oh, how it sucks, oh, how it's bullshit without Trish Stratus, Lita, and blah, 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 blah. But it's true, people. I mean, sure, you have Paige, who's good, you have Emma, who's fucking awesome, you have Summer Rae, who's not too bad either, but that's like, what, 3 Divas? Compared to, like Trish Stratus, Lita, Michelle McCool, Mickie James, Melina even. You forgot her, Frances. That, and plus the NXT Divas. I like the NXT Divas a lot. Like, I like Charlotte. Duh. I even like Bailey. Fuck! Even with a gimmick like hers, which I don't really understand. Well, even with a gimmick like that, I think Bailey's fucking awesome. And even the fucking ring act.
I like Bailey.
You like Bailey?
Yes, I like Bailey.
I don't mind her. I don't mind her myself, even with that kind of gimmick. And it's not just that, but even the action in the NXT and the Divas is it's what it should be, honestly. I mean, we could do with a hell of a lot more violence and hardcore action. I mean, who wouldn't want that, honestly? I mean, like, hardcore match between the Divas? I'm like, shut up and take my money, because I want that. Haha. Yeah, we've got... Sorry, you were about to say something?
I don't know if you could. I don't know if you could get them to do it. I think that I'm not sure that the Divas are crazy enough to get involved in that. It would be interesting, though. It would be interesting if they were willing to get the weapons involved and whatnot. So, although they have been taking some pretty nasty bumps, they've been selling out in recent weeks, especially since Paige came up. She's been taking some nasty bumps.
Really? Sorry, I didn't pay much attention because I don't pay attention to the main roster Divas, really. Sorry, but that's me. Well, what
How
kind
do you get to discuss it if you're not paying attention to it?
Good point. Mike, you really got to start doing this a hell of a lot better.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
just
I know,
joking.
like, enough, like, to be able to carry a discussion. That's true.
I was just joking with you.
Oh, good. Ha. Seriously, um, I think it would be really bloody interesting if 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 we can actually get like a Divas hardcore match, or hell, we can even probably get the first ever deal. I was gonna say TLC, but then I said D. I nearly said DLC, as in downloadable. Blah, can't even pronounce it. Downloadable content. Forgive me. Anyway, but I
Yeah,
think it would be
I
like
think TLC works better.
TLC.
Hmm.
Can I ask how come? I just want to know what you think. That's all.
Of what?
Of why you think TLC would have worked better than a hardcore rules match for Divas.
No. I was saying TLC works better than DLC. Just playing along with the.
Oh, you were playing along with a joke. Ha ha ha
Yeah.
ha. Sorry, man. God damn, man. You really gotta start doing this a hell of a lot better.
Ah, no worries.
Well, thanks, man. But okay, here's a more serious question. Out of all the divas, out of all the divas about of today, who do you think is the most capable of taking like really hardcore bumps, like going through like I don't know, getting hit with a ladder or landing on the ladder or something like that? All that crazy shit.
From what I've seen, it's Paige. That's a pretty good sized girl. She's not
Barbie.
yeah, she's not a tiny person that you look at and say, well, I'm afraid that she'll be damaged irreparably if she takes a serious bump. So, and she's got star quality. You know, I like the way she sells a match. I like the way she structures her matches. What she does looks physical. And, you know, she's only, what, 21 years old? Her promos will get better over time. So Paige is the one that I would say if you were going to do a hardcore match, I'd start with her. I don't know who you'd pair with her, but that's where I'd start.
Emma. Sorry, but I had to say
Uh, oh, you just an Emma Mark.
it. Hmm?
You're just an Emma Mark.
Yes, I am.
Emma's not bad. I like Emma.
Hmm. At least she can fucking wrestle, unlike most of the divas today, in my book. Awkward silence. And look, apparently Levels tweeted us on Twitter called, and quote, much awkward silence. And I'm like, what you expect, man? It's my first time doing it. Have some patience, man.
Patience is good.
That's and it's definitely something I need to have more of, honestly. I mean, not just in wrestling, but as a person as well. Like, I tend to get like impatient kind of quickly, depending on what mood I'm in.
I think that's normal though. And you know, when we went through the whole saga with He Who Shall Not Be Named,
Chris Benoit.
um, no, no. Um, I think the impatience of fans was really shown up then, and you're still seeing it. They're still chanting for him at just about every show, even now, months after he walks out. They're still chanting for him.
Punk.
Um, and so I think there's a certain level of impatience with not so much the casual fan who just shows up, buys a couple drinks and a T-shirt and is happy with the product. I'm talking about the real heavy consumers of the product, if you will. We get really impatient. Like, we want Cesaro to be a face now, and if he's not, then we're gonna get mad. Or we want our favorite person from NXT to be called up, and if they don't do it, we're gonna be mad. So I think you've touched on a little bit of of a mainstream sort of an issue in fandom. The impatience level, um, I don't want to say it's at an all-time high because in the past you've seen situations where fans even get into fights in the stands and things. You're not seeing that now, but fans are impatient. If they don't like the direction of a storyline, they start chanting. If they don't like the direction of a storyline, they start organizing and the like. So
Hijacking.
they try. They try to hijack. I don't know how effective they are, but yeah.
Well, Chicago fans try to, hijack the latest Raw in Chicago, and look how well that turned out.
Which one? Just recently?
I think it was the one before Payback. I'm not too sure anymore, but it was definitely in Chicago. I think it was probably in March or April.
Yeah, I don't remember. But it wasn't nearly as bad as I think as even WWE thought it was going to be. I think WWE respected their ability to hijack the show more than they actually had ability to hijack the show. If that makes any sense.
Not really. You still there?
I am.
Oh, haha. Oh, sorry, just awkward silence. Too many awkward silences. Jesus Christ, I really need to, you know, bloody hell. I know I'm beating myself up too much, more than I probably should.
Totally unnecessary.
Why, thank you, kind sir. I'll gladly take your notice in the future. Haha.
But yeah.
Have you got a favorite diva of all time? Like, ever? And to quote Chris Jericho, ever!
No, not really.
No,
No.
that's surprising.
How about
Honestly.
you?
Oh, later, honestly.
This is good.
I
Very
mean, I
good.
love the shit out of her, man. I mean, fuck. Like, I rant about her more than any other diva, honestly.
Hmm.
Oh my god.
You could do worse. Very charismatic, great innovator. There's really nobody before or since that does the stuff that she did. So it's not a bad choice.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm going a bit too far with it, honestly. Like,
How's that?
well, I just kind of like seem to have a go at people, and you know, when who don't think the same way I do, and I'm just always like, oh, Lita's the best thing since some sliced bread. I think many people already know how biased I can get, honestly.
Sliced bread is so overrated.
What, the sliced bread thing?
Yeah, who cares about sliced bread?
Willow.
I'm not a fan of the Willow gimmick either.
I I think his song has gotten me into the Willow gimmick a bit more.
So, what are some of your favorite entrance themes then?
Of all time or right now?
Up to you.
Up to me. Okay. Well, Willows. Jeff Hardy's No More Words. CM Punk's old song, This Fire Burns. Jack Swagger's one now, The Patriot. I like the second version of Del Rio's he had last year. I like Cesaro's new theme. I like the Shields. It's very memorable. Uh, I even like Zack Ryder's. as well. Don't ask why. I also,
I like Zack Ryder's. It was cheesy, but it was fun.
and I don't know. There's just a whole lot of variety of entrance themes that I like that I just can't be asked to name in a Google Hangout. Like no, they're like so many. Like I just can't. I can't be asked to list all of them.
Mm. I tend to like the was it Motorhead stuff? The Evolution theme, Triple H's theme,
Yeah, that's
uh,
Motorhead.
both Triple H teams, the game and the King of Kings.
The
Um,
Ultimate King.
I like those. That Evolution theme, they could pretty much play that, just let that ride, and I would I'd be okay with that. Um, that's definitely one of my favorites. The Undertaker theme I've always enjoyed. Um, I think the Austin theme is overrated. I think it fit the performer very well, um, but I don't want to just listen to Austin's theme. So the Miz has a really good theme. The Miz's theme is better than him.
I like the Miz though.
I like him too. I think he's okay. Um,
I think he's
but
awesome.
he's got a main eventer's theme, and he's a mid card performer. So
It's not his
yeah,
fault though, is it?
no, no, obviously it's not his fault, but it's fun. I really enjoyed Edge's theme, the Metalingus
Oh,
Alter
I like
Bridge.
that one too.
Great theme.
Hmm. It's certainly memorable.
Well, Jericho, I like Jericho's theme.
Oh, Jericho's break the walls down.
3 6 Mafia, the Mark Henry theme. That's pretty good. Fits him very, very well. Can't stand Daniel Bryan's.
I actually
Terrible.
don't mind Daniel Bryan's song. It's
Yeah,
just him I have a problem with.
I've heard other people say that yeah, I think it's Flight of the Valkyries. I think that's what
Yep.
it's called. Not a fan. Um, it kind of reminds me of Ric Flair and Randy Savage, and I just no, I don't like it.
You don't like Ric Flair's or Randy Savage's entrance themes either.
No,
I'm guessing you're not really a fan of that kind of instrumental music, are you, Rensis?
I like the music. I just don't think it works for a wrestling theme. I think wrestling themes are kind of more meant to be a little bit more like a show, a little bit more rock concert, a little less classical recital. If we can,
I mean, that
that's
sounds
just
like
that's just
this,
me.
though. Like
What's
this.
that? See, I think that would be my own. I think that would be my theme. If I were a performer and I want to come out and get ready to go out and butt heads in that ring, that's a hype song, man. That's what I'm looking for.
Hmm. I know if I was a wrestler, and I know I would be pretty much coming out to this music.
No thanks.
What?
No thanks.
I like it.
Not a smoke and mirrors guy.
Yeah, I like this version better than the other one. So, new topic. Who do you think is the most underrated mid-card talent?
Most underrated mid card talent. Can it not be mid card? Can it be a lower card?
Well, people I call it mid-card because, that's the people where,
Yeah.
most talent are not being, treated properly. I'm talking about that.
Even though he's getting a lot of time, which I appreciate, and I think it's probably going to end reasonably well for him. I'd say Sandow right now. Um,
Oh God,
he's
Sandow.
he's going through a sort of proving ground. It seems like they're trying to see if he can make something out of garbage. And I think he's done reasonably well. The McMandow impersonation of Vince McMahon, I thought was brilliant. Um, love that. The Bret Hart didn't, Bret Hart I did not love, but it's hard to imitate Bret Hart because Bret Hart isn't much of a charismatic sort of a guy. So I'm enjoying what he's doing, but I am looking forward to him doing some more serious stuff.
I just
So
want
yeah,
Damien. Oh, sorry, you was about to say something.
now it's done.
Oh, haha. No, I was just saying. I just want Sandow to be himself for once. Fucking hell, WWE, stop giving all these random gimmicks that don't even make any sense on Sandow. I'm I'm just like sick of that shit, man. I want like Sandow to be himself.
Yeah, I mean, all of them play characters, so he's just playing lots of different characters really in really short order. But
No,
they're all
when I
characters.
meant like when I meant by being himself, I mean be the Damien Sandow he was before the Money in the Bank cash-in thing.
Hmm. He still shows quite a bit of that. And it's an opportunity for him to be on TV, which is always good. It's better for your career, I think, to be on Raw making a fool of yourself than it is to be Zack Ryder and people are shocked when they see you even on SmackDown. So
Yeah, but that's not Zack Ryder's fault though, is it?
it is. I think if Zack Ryder was a better performer, you'd see him. The guys that don't get on TV generally are guys who are not good enough to be on TV. So,
Really? I don't believe it's Zack Ryder's fault. I think it's WWE's fault, really.
hmm. so if you believe that WWE is a for-profit business and you believe you had a profitable asset, a profitable entity, would you keep it out of the public eye? Because I wouldn't.
Well, keep Zack Ryder out, or
I think if they felt strongly that they could make money with him, he'd be on TV.
yeah, but that's the thing that really bugs me. It's all about like the money. It's like not really about who's the wrestling. I mean, we get wrestling matches, duh.
Can I interest you in some indie work? Because WWE is it's a billion-dollar corporation and they have shareholders, so they have a fiduciary responsibility to be a for-profit entity. It's not they're not in business to showcase the art form of pro wrestling. That's not their role. So
I really believe that they should. I think, as unlikely as this may sound, I really believe that WWE should, try and combine both their money profit corporation thing and showcase the art of wrestling. Like,
and I do think you see that if you take 3 or 4 random Raws over the last year, and then go take 3 or 4 random Raws from at any point in the Attitude Era, and compare the in-ring work. It's night and day now. The actual art form in ring today is far superior to what you saw back then. Far superior from top to bottom, from the top performers all the way down to the opening matches. So I think the art form is being showcased, but that's not enough. That's not enough to be profitable. Um,
Ren says, I don't really think you understand what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is that, like, don't, you know, stop not have Zack Ryder on TV just because oh he doesn't draw money. Because I believe that's like really bullshit excuse to not have someone on television. Like if you can't, if you can't draw money, then fuck it, just have him, wrestle great matches and win, lose. Just stop, treating him like absolute garbage. Just honestly.
How are they treating him like garbage?
Look at him, not barely on television, and when he does, gets jobbed out. Like fuck.
So he gets to live his dream and make a very lucrative income, but he's just not on TV doing it that much.
What?
He makes a very good living being a pro wrestler. I don't think they're treating him like garbage. That's a pretty good life.
No, I'm not saying. Oh, no, Zack Ryder should be main event, should be WWE champion. No, I just wish they wouldn't, I just wish they wouldn't job him out like this. Like, I believe
Hmm.
Zack Ryder deserves a hell of a lot better, as much as people dislike him or like him.
I like him. I like him. I just think I think there are better options right now. So that's what they're they're playing to their strengths. If there's a spot where it really doesn't matter who the performer is, then they go with one of their weaker guys. They'll go with a guy like Zach. If they really need to tell a story or have some kind of good ring work or whatever the case may be, they go with a better performer. I think Zach had his opportunities and he did a little something with it, but it wasn't great. I think Zach right now is where he's about where he's supposed to be. I don't think that WWE, if they thought that he could be a money making draw, they'd have him on the bench. So
Are you sure he was getting pretty popular, like when he was like feuding for the U.S. title?
yeah, so is Snooki, and what's she doing now?
Yeah, but who the hell cares about Snooki, honestly?
It's the same thing. It's the same gimmick.
Yeah, but like nobody likes Snooki, and and I repeat, nobody likes the Jersey Shores, whereas Zack Ryder has fans. You know,
I would say there are just as many Jersey Shore-ites as there are Ryder-ites.
really? Because I haven't seen one yet. I haven't met one person that actually thinks the Jersey Shore was a good show.
Got to get out more.
But who knows? That might probably be my closed-minded self. Haha.
Yeah, I mean when they were when they had their time, they were a really big ratings draw. They did very well. They made a lot of money for MTV. They made a lot of money for themselves, and everything comes to a close. And I think that I think once that, and I hate to keep mixing metaphors, but once that ship had sailed, it had sailed. It's pretty much over, and you're seeing something similar to that with Robbie E. In TNA. It's after a while that shtick gets old, and people don't care. And I don't know if he's injured. I'm trying to be nice, and I'm hoping he's injured. But you don't really see him on TV very much anymore either, and I think there's a reason for that. At some point, you've got to move along with the market. You know,
So are we really on a marketing tangent here?
these are for profit businesses. Yes, these are not charities.
Hey, look at what Levels just told me. Ryder isn't on TV because he isn't great. Well, I'm not gonna say anything like, oh my God, best wrestler ever, but I'll say he's good. If he's on TV, he's jobbing, yeah, which is what I don't really appreciate. And the WWE needs jobbers, yeah, but why not? I'm trying to think of who would be a really good jobber, like someone who just like nobody cares about, no matter what. I was gonna say Trent Barretta, but he's not here anymore. But he like made the perfect job. Like nobody cared for him, and just they just wanted to see him getting beaten up. Honestly, and I don't think Trent Barretta ever had like any serious momentum going his way. Not like Zack Ryder anyway. Like, do you see where I'm coming from? Ren? Okay. Well, looks like I'm all alone now. What the fuck just happened? Okay, what the... Looks like I'm just all alone now. So, should I end it here or wait, Princess's video call. Hold on a minute. Trying to figure out what the fuck happened, because look, my guest has disappeared. Holy shit. So please bear the awkward silence. I'll keep you entertained. Apparently his phone died. Ladies and gentlemen, apparently Rence's phone died and he's gonna come back on the call any minute. Hopefully. Is he gonna join back here or is he gonna make a separate call? Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's see how this plays out. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, I deeply apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, something just happened. What's... Hold on. Oh, okay. Uh, well, it says he's on the call now, but his phone died. Yeah, I don't see him anywhere. Or is he starting a new call? Weird, because I'm not getting any invitation or whatever. Video calling me. Sorry, I have no idea what the hell's going on, honestly. Like, for fuck's sake. Ah, fuck. Sorry, blah, 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 blah. And I've just lost about all the viewers I had, which weren't really many, but okay. Got one viewer. Looks like I'll probably have to make it a two-part episode. Wow. Wow, apparently a lot of people are coming in. Not in the call, but on my Twitter. Damn it, I just missed a video call. Oh, sorry guys, I'm probably gonna have to end this one and then make a two-part episode. You know, like make a second part for this episode. So, see you on part 2.